Hey friends and family, how y'all doing? This is Marklin Sigler here with the latest edition of Marklin's Movie Reviews, and today we're talking about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, or as I call it, Mission Impossible 8. Alright, so I'm on my franchise kick right now. So I did Final Destination video. So depending on what platform you look on this, I'll be before or after this video. It'll be somewhere around the Final Destination video. So Mission Impossible is another franchise that is near and dear to my heart. I like my friend Marcus always says, this is Tom Cruise's attempt to prove that he could play James Bond because they wouldn't cast him as James Bond because he was too short. Well, Tom Cruise, in my opinion, has more than surpassed James Bond because I think I remember a lot more Mission Impossible movies than I do James Bond movies at this point. To be fair, there are a lot more James Bond movies and been a lot more James Bonds than Mission Impossible, but I digress. Alright, so seen all the mission in this movie. If this is truly the final Mission Impossible movie, the Final Reckoning, I think it went out on a high note because once again, I do remember going to see the original Mission Impossible movie in the movie theater. And actually, I used to watch the Mission Impossible TV show, the old 1960s show and the 1980s remake with my grandma all the time. So I've been a Mission Impossible fan for years. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And I think it was a video game Mission. It was called Impossible Mission though. It wasn't called Mission Impossible. It was called Impossible Mission. But it was like a game too, kind of based on it. Like for all y'all, like people like my brother's like a junior, well almost, or I was a senior in college, so he wouldn't remember this. But like you used to have like Commodore 64s and Tandy 1000s. Used to play video games on floppy disks. So I remember that Mission Impossible Mission Force game. So anyway, Mission Impossible. First movie came out in the 90s. I remember as a kid going to see it. Now I'm seeing this movie as an adult. I like this movie, which surprised me because even though I love the franchise, I did not necessarily like Dead Reckoning, the 7th movie in the franchise. I did not like it because it felt incomplete. This movie picks up right where that movie stopped. Well, not right where it stopped. Some time has passed because Tom Cruise looks different. His hair looks different. He looks different, like he don't put on some weight, or he just, he in his 60s now. So, but it picks up, and I like this movie much better. I like how it connects. And so, all right, here's my spoiler warning. So if you don't want to be spoiling the movie or hear my thoughts on different things, I'm gonna say some things. I may not tell you the whole movie, but I'm gonna tell you some things about the movie in order to talk about it. And now it's your time to exit the chat. Okay, got that out the way. All right. So I like how this movie connects to Mission Impossible, the original one from 1996. Well, first of all, let me say this: the movie shows scenes from all the movies, even Mission Impossible 2, which everybody seems to hate now. I don't hate it. I went to movies and saw that too. I enjoyed it at the time, but I will admit, it is much different than the rest of the Mission Impossible movies. Like, because, for y'all who don't know, during that time, Mission Impossible movies have a different director. Like, Brian De Palma was the first director. John Woo was the second director. The guy who did Felicity and 2009 Star Trek, J.J. Abrams, he did the third one. And then I think Brad Bird did the 4th one, and then like Christian McQuarrie did all the rest of them. He's the one who did this one. So like by the time you got to like the 4th one, it was the same director, and who's also Tom Cruise's like producing partner. So that's why those are more consistent. And I'll be honest, probably 4, 5, and 6 are the strongest movies because they're more of a trilogy. They're more of a trilogy because the characters kind of start to gel more. You kind of see the situations. You can just tell those movies kind of fit together, and that's why they do. And I'll go on record. Probably 6 Fallout is the best one. It probably is. Purely because Henry Cavill Superman's in there for that fight in the bathroom when he started like hitting his knuckles and stuff like that. That fight is awesome in the bathroom. And just the stuff that Tom Cruise is doing. And then, they were just operating on like everything, and you felt you closed out the storyline with his wife and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good movie. But anyway, we talk about Mission Impossible Part 8. So this movie shows scenes from all the movies, even 2, which I mentioned, but it connects heavily to Part 1 and Part 3. So Part 1 because Kittredge was the director in Part 1, and then the guy who was the coder when he went and stole the necklace and stuff like that, he's in Part 8. It has a significant part. As soon as I saw him, I said, "That's that dude right there. That's the dude." I said, "That's that." I was like Leonardo DiCaprio, like him right there. That's how I was. Okay. Also, it strongly connects to part 3 because part 3 is where they had this thing with the rabbit's foot, and a lot of people like part 3 because that's when you first find out he has a wife, and that's what Philip Seymour Hoffman gave this awesome performance as the villain. He's one of the best villains the franchise ever had. That's when Tom Cruise kind of died. Was his character Ethan died, and we got brought back to life. And it was this thing called the rabbit's foot, which you never find out what the rabbit's foot is. And he asking him, what is the rabbit's foot? What is this thing? This movie, you find out what the rabbit's foot is. The rabbit's foot is the entity, which is the AI, which is taking over everything. And I mean, I really felt the AI was more of a threat this movie too, because that was my problem. Okay, AI is a threat in Terminator and the Matrix, but here I'm not quite sure how it's a threat. But I really saw the geopolitical ramifications of how a rogue AI could be a threat right now. So this movie is good. And let's talk about the stunts, man. So the stunts, what it is, you're trying to figure out, is Tom Cruise crazy? I got mad respect for Tom Cruise because at his age, he's still doing this stuff. I salute you. I salute Tom Cruise for that stuff. And I mean, Tom Cruise is in pretty good shape. I mean, I could tell when he's on a submarine. Yes, he gets to a submarine. It's crazy. And he's fighting dude. I'm like, Tom Cruise, he's pretty spry for 60 years old. He's like, all that stuff right there. But then he gets in the submarine, and I was talking about, I said, man, what if this happens? Because I'm an adult now. Like, I'm thinking about all things go wrong. And of course, one of the things I think about goes wrong. So he's stuck in the submarine, and so the part when he's in the submarine is good, and the part where he's in a propeller plane, I guess is what you technically call it, a bipeller plane, and how he's doing this stuff and moving right there. I'm like, Tom, I'd like to know what kind of climbing exercises Tom Cruise is doing, because this dude can climb on things and everything. Now you go back to Mission Impossible 2, which everybody hate. He doing rock climbing in that movie. So I need to figure out what kind of climbing exercises he doing to be able to hang on planes and do all this stuff right here. And I didn't know what kind of endurance training he doing too, because Tom Cruise be underwater. And then Tom Cruise always, they call it running, but I just realized Tom Cruise is sprinting. Maybe that's the secret of his youth. He constantly sprinting, because he got that good sprint form. I mean, he got the elbows and knees up, I mean, he got that excellent sprinter form too. And I mean, he just makes you believe in him. You believe Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt is character can put. Even the fact that the guy who was chasing him in this movie 7, it turns to be Jim Phelps' son from the first movie. I mean, it's connections all around. I love that kind of stuff. That's a reward for long-term fans like myself. I hated Elsa got killed in the last one. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I hate Luther got killed in this one. Luther dies, y'all. Ving Rhames dies, and I gotta go back and rewatch 7 because I remember the beginning of the 7, he could have died then, but Ethan, I'm not gonna lose him out of my team. And I also think about the reason Ethan is so set on not losing him out from his team is because his whole team died at the beginning of the first Mission Impossible. So it's even a connection right there. That's why he's so attached. Like, I gotta keep my team alive, no matter what. We gotta all come through this as much as possible. But alas, Luther Stickler, I think was his name. He died. Ving Rhames' character died. And I really felt that love. He's like, man, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. I felt that, man. There's a new brother got added. He joined the team, and I thought for a second he was gonna die. And I was like, oh Lord, they finna kill this brother. But he didn't die. So I'll let y'all know that much. So I want y'all to go see this. I want you to let me know what you think. Where do you rank this Mission Impossible franchise? I'm probably gonna, like I said, I was gonna rewatch all the Final Destinations. I'm gonna rewatch all the Mission Impossibles as well. I love it. I mean, it's good. It's good entertainment, man. But let me know how you felt about Mission Impossible movie, the franchise as a whole. Which are your favorite? What's your order of the franchises from best to worst? And let me know what you think about this one. Once again, this is Marklin Sigler, Marklin's Movie Reviews. Make sure you like this video. I want you to share this video. Subscribe to me wherever you see this video. And comment. I love to chop it up with y'all in the comments. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.